This video is brought to you by Raycon. Hey Arlo? Yeah, alternate universe Arlo? Remember how we found a tunnel in that cave leading to ancient ruins containing a magical artifact and had to protect it by bringing down a secret evil organization and escaping their exploding base so we could return it to those aliens? Yeah, it just happened. Yeah. That was cool. It was. And the entire time, we were both comfortably listening to music thanks to our Raycon Everyday Earbuds. It's true. None of those spooks, their eccentric billionaire leader, or the aliens could even tell. These earbuds are so sleek and low profile. And even during all those chase sequences, they never fell out. It must have something to do with the assortment of silicone tips they came with, which ensured a perfect fit. I loved switching between the 3 different sound profiles on the fly. Jamming out using the bass sound profile really helped drown out the villain's boring monologue. Seriously, and that was a very long adventure, but we never even had to charge our Raycons. They last up to 8 hours on a charge and up to 32 hours using the charging case. We could go on 3 more adventures if we wanted to. I must say, being able to place calls at the touch of a button, really convenient when we had to call the mothership for the big finale. Emperor Zarflog was amazed to discover that Raycons offered such quality at about half the price of other premium audio brands. So, of course we sent him to buyraycon.com/Arlo so he and all the other Clag Smookians could get 15% off their orders. Indeed we did. It was a good day. It was a good day. You know, That's what I'm talking about. Hello, my friends. The spicy take salad we did for the last Nintendo Direct went over really well. Everyone really seemed to like it, so here we are for another one. We're going to be reading your controversial opinions about the June 2023 Direct, even though I'm not at home. This is not my studio. I'm still staying with family. I got a pretty good setup here. I think this looks pretty good. I even got my Metroid buddy. My housemate actually helped me pack and packed him up all good, and she even included the glasses. So kind. So let's get started. Mario Wonder seems really fun, but I think it kind of looks like a cell phone game. What? Serious question. Actual question. Are we looking at the same game? Super Mario Brothers Wonder. Just the most recent Direct, just a few days ago. Is that the trailer you're looking at? Are you sure you got the right game? Cell phone games don't tend to be this polished. There's so much, I don't know, say what you will about, how much you like the style, but cell phone game, come on. Come on. I mean, just take the previous Mario games. Those look like cell phone games. New Super Mario Brothers U, that looks like a cell phone game. This looks like, I don't know, more than a cell phone game. That's great. I don't know. I don't know about that one. Other than being stylized 2D kind of graphics, I don't know what about this could look like a cell phone game. I mean, it's very smooth. I guess you got that. Some other 2.5D games have a lot more depth to them. This really, it is very clean. I sort of get where you're going with there, but no, I don't know. I disagree. Disagree. Moving on. The gameplay of Super Mario RPG is not going to hold up for a lot of people. 90s RPGs can be grindy. I would not be surprised if it sells, for a Mario title, poorly. Okay, well, let's address the fact that Mario RPGs in general historically just don't sell that well. Even the most popular ones do not sell even almost on the same level as the, mainline 2D and 3D Marios. So we already know it's not gonna sell like gangbusters. It's not gonna be some big crazy phenomenon or anything. But as far as the gameplay not holding up for people, I mean, I don't know. If there's anything about it that's like super duper overwhelmingly outdated or archaic, they probably will make some tweaks to it. Otherwise, turn-based RPGs with some grinding, they're still selling. They're still selling like crazy, One could argue that Pokemon can be kind of grindy. I don't know, just there's a lot of RPGs out there in that style. I'm not too worried about it. Giving us emulated versions of the GameCube Pikmin 1 and 2 is something I don't want to see in the future. If you're going to re-release GameCube games, give them the Metroid Prime treatment. You're not wrong that would be great. You're not wrong that would be a preferable, absolutely. But I am in the it's better than nothing camp at this point. Like, I don't know. I think holding off because they might want to do a bigger remaster or remake later, if that's a thing that Nintendo does ever, like I just don't want that. I don't like that idea. Even if you're gonna do something more fancy later, you can still give us the basic ones now. It's the Switch, install base is big, everyone wants to play these games, so I am completely on board with just some very basic up-res, couple, like, you know, quality of life improvements. It's really all we need, and it's cheaper. Nintendo doesn't feel the need to charge as much. More people get to play these games. It helps their respective series, so I'm definitely happy with it going this way. As much as I love the idea of a fully asset redone remaster of Pikmin, ooh. Oh, I got chills just thinking about it. People need to stop making farming sims, and they need to stop advertising them in directs. They will not be the next Stardew Valley. I can see both sides of this one. Farming sims are cool. They're decently popular right now. You know, everyone likes their cozy games. I'm not gonna tell anyone what kinds of games they can and can't make. However, it is true that there's a lot of them. You know, a lot of people do want a piece of that Stardew Valley pie, and Stardew Valley doesn't want to give up that pie. Stardew Valley, that's still really your primary pie. The market is getting a little bit flooded, and they really do like to include them in the direct. They're just so good for Switch, you know? They're perfect for Switch. Thing is though, now that we've seen such a surge of them recently, it probably will slow down. I think a lot of people wanted to get into that space, but now, you know, games take years to make, so now that we're seeing that space is very crowded, I think we're gonna start seeing less of them moving forward. I'm not saying it will be bad, but I think Super Mario Bros. Wonder still looks just as bland gameplay-wise as the new Super Mario Bros. Series. Graphically, it's great, but gameplay-wise, yeah, I'm gonna get it for this, aren't I? You are. From me, right now. No, I mean, it's true that it's still very much Mario. Even as someone who has always wanted 2D Mario to be more interesting and do more things and innovate, like, I still expect it to be Mario. You know, at the end of the day, Mario runs and jumps. They're not gonna change that too much. When you're talking about innovating and doing new things, like with Mario, it really just comes down to power-ups and abilities and level design. Like that's, you know, they design around the core Mario idea. And I feel like this game, like, yeah, it plays like Mario. Every Mario is gonna play like Mario, at least in the 2D ones, but like, I feel like they're doing plenty here with just what we've seen of power-ups and the level design and just the whole, like, Wonder Flower thing where everything gets all weird. I think there's a lot they can do with that. I think it's doing a whole lot. New Super Mario Bros. Level design is good, but it's not exciting. It's not interesting. But I feel like even just in this trailer, we've seen a lot that's way more exciting and interesting than what we've seen in the older games. But I don't know, I guess I can kind of understand some people feeling that way. I'm happy WarioWare is still going on, but I'm also kind of bummed that the series is now more or less on autopilot. This IP used to be the poster child of innovative but quirky, showcasing how creative and out-of-the-box Nintendo can be. Now we get a Smooth Move sequel, huh? Yeah, I think autopilot is a really, really good way to put it. That's a really apt descriptor. And I, you know, and as I said in my big discussion video, like, lots of people excited for this. Absolutely great, perfect. Like, there is a market for this, and that's totally cool. But from an outsider perspective, yeah, WarioWare itself was completely innovative, super weird, very experimental. And now WarioWare games, they just kind of come out. It's autopilot, yeah, like, just there's gonna be a WarioWare game or multiple WarioWare games. It just kind of does its thing. They might have like kind of an interesting little twist, but this one in particular really just, okay. Yeah, I get it. And then here's a similar one. After WarioWare Gold included multiple different gameplay styles within its microgames, including gyro control games, it feels like a really weird step back to make one completely dedicated to motion controls. It does. It just seems like a very old decision. But I won't go on about it anymore. I don't want anyone to think that I'm trying to bash the game. Again, lots of people happy about it. It just seems so by the books, you know? It just seems so... Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Why don't they want to do more with Wario? Like even if it's just something else weird and experimental. I mean, I guess the last one was kinda a little bit, but like, Where's Wario Land? That's all we want! Detective Pikachu Returns looks worse than the first Detective Pikachu game graphics-wise. I've seen people say this a lot. I've really seen a lot of people expressing this opinion, and I do not agree. I think that it is an exaggeration. I think that the 3DS graphics probably seemed better because they were impressive for the 3DS. Like, you know, it looked pretty good on the 3DS. The only problem was the low resolution. These graphics do not look worse. They just don't. However, they don't look better either. They don't look any better. Looking at them side by side, it's really just a higher resolution. Beyond that, this really does not look any better at all. I would not be surprised at all if this was originally going to be a 3DS Switch dual release, because yeah, it just looks like the 3DS game, but in a higher resolution. And maybe it just got delayed and they canceled the 3DS one or something. That's why it took so long to come out. I don't know, but yeah, could look a lot better. Which is, you know, I get it for your big open world game, it can't look great, but this is a lot more focused, a lot more just zoomed in. You got these Pokemon and these characters. It could look better. It really could. Starting with Pokemon DLC was the most boring option they had. They should have started with Mario RPG and put Pokemon in the middle. In my eyes, it's the biggest issue with the Direct. Completely agree. 100%. It was a terrific Direct. I loved it. But there was no reason for them to start with Pokemon. They didn't even have anything to show. Like, I mentioned that, how it's like, yeah, I love Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'm excited for this DLC, but like, it just didn't show off any like one super crazy interesting feature. It was just kind of like showing people in Pokemon and places, and that's it. And like, there were so many great announcements in this Direct. Why didn't you start with one? Mario RPG would have been perfect. Absolutely perfect. I mean, you hit us with the RPG at the beginning and then the Wonder at the end and then all the other stuff in the middle. Yeah, pretty weird. Yeah, I agree. I'm beyond excited to have Mario RPG back, but I absolutely revile how the battle menus look. I understand that these sterile, straightforward text boxes in modern Nintendo games are probably for the sake of readability, but they clash so hard with Mario games aesthetically. I did not notice that until you pointed it out, so thanks for ruining the game for me. No, really though, you're completely right. Yeah, I didn't look closely enough. You're right though. I mean, I wouldn't say I revile it. It's not gonna, I don't hate it. It's not gonna ruin the game, but yeah, I mean, like, it just looks like the HUD for a Mario sports game. It's true. I mean, like, just looking at past games, especially like Mario and Luigi, just such interesting UI elements, just so spunky and fun. This is very boring. I mean, there's at least a chance this is placeholder. Maybe, possibly. I know the game, like, it's not too long before it comes out, but maybe that's the sort of thing they just haven't finalized yet. There's a chance it could change. I'm not gonna hold my breath or anything, but yeah, this is very sterile. That really is the word. It's just kind of whatever. There's not really any personality to it. And the rest of the game has loads of personality. So I really hope they end up making some changes. Yeah, I can't unsee it now. Thank you. Thank you. The Direct should have opened with the trailer for Everybody 1-2 Switch, as it would have been the highlight of the show. I get the feeling this is probably not the most serious take. It could be. It absolutely could be. You could be dead serious. I would respect that. I do not agree that it would have been the highlight of the show, personally. But I will say though, where was it? That's so weird. I mean, I know Nintendo likes to reveal like weird kind of non-game games outside of Direct sometimes, but the first 1-2 Switch was revealed in a big Nintendo presentation. So like, why? Why would you reveal the existence of a game weeks before a Direct and then just not even mention it at all? We want to see what this horse is about. We want to know what's going on. What's going on with this horse person? Yeah, pretty weird. Guess we'll just have to wait for the inevitable random Twitter drop. So we got another one about Mario Wonder, but this is more specific. I like this. I dislike the character design of Super Mario Bros. Wonder. It's so irritating that the characters are constantly halfway turned towards the screen and are basically running at a 45-degree angle. I understand this. I totally get it. I've been annoyed by stuff similar to that, just about things in the past. However, I simply do not agree. I think that detail right there is part of what makes the game look so good and so stylish. I'm seeing all these comparisons online just showing the old games to the new one, and such a big part of it is just like, oh, well, they were just turned sideways before, but now you get this interesting angle where you can see Mario's whole face. It's just so much more expressive, It's not just, we made a character model and now we're just animating it and turning it at different angles. It's like the whole entire game is playing to the camera. It's playing with perspective in order to deliver just a strong artistic style. And we've been seeing this a lot in animated movies recently. Two that immediately come to mind are the Captain Underpants movie and the Peanuts movie, where if you moved the camera at any other angle, the whole thing would just completely break. It is playing to the camera, directly to the audience, and that's giving it such a stronger identity than most 3D animated movies. It's kind of imitating 2D in a way, but it's still 3D, and that's what I get from Mario Wonder. And and it's a bummer. It's a bummer that, maybe some people don't like that choice, but I think it makes all the difference. I think that's literally why this game looks so good. Penny's Big Breakaway was the best game in the show, and people are not excited enough about it. Okay. Penny's Big Breakaway. Not my personal favorite of the show. I wouldn't say just definitively the best game in the show. I also haven't really been on Twitter much, so I don't know how much people are talking about it. However, if they're not really talking about it, I completely agree that they should be. This game looks phenomenal. It looks really, really supremely good. I agree that it really does deserve a lot of attention. People should be hyped about it because it does look really good. I don't know if maybe people are hesitant because the last time that we had a cool 3D platformer announcement with a really strong pedigree, things did not turn out the way we wanted. I'm not naming names. Not naming names. Yeah, but I don't know. I honestly do think that game was one of the standouts, one of the absolute highlights of the entire show. Looks so good. Peach game shouldn't have been revealed now. The little they showed us does not look that promising. If they waited to reveal more closer to release, it would be better. 100% agree. 1,000,000,000% agree. I'm so excited that we're getting a Peach game, but she did deserve a better reveal. She really did. We don't even know what the game is. We just don't know. What type of game even is this? What can we expect? There's this little stage thing, but that's it. If you're gonna reveal the game, you gotta have some essence of the game to communicate to us. Revealing this did make this direct better, but at the cost of a future direct that could have had it. And at the cost of just the game itself and the hype surrounding it. Imagine if when they revealed the Peach game, it was the full thing with a title and a big reveal with all this gameplay, and we'd be going crazy. This was an exciting thing to announce and a not exciting way to announce it. And that is disappointing. They just didn't need to. There was plenty of other stuff in this direct. They could have just waited and it's kind of the same with the Luigi's Mansion thing. It was there's so much stuff they announced that was coming out this year. Those, I feel like they could have just waited. They could have just waited for September or just waited until they had anything, just anything else to show us. But, oh well, I'm still very excited. Okay, this one is not exclusively related to this direct exactly, but I will read it anyway because it is spicy. Sonic Superstars seems like a bland cash grab. Wow. Here's the thing though, you could call something a cash grab if you think maybe it's pandering a little too hard or something, but can you call something a cash grab if it is genuinely what almost 100% of the audience actually wants, really, truly, genuinely wants? Because everyone I know who's into Sonic, everybody seems to be on the same page. Just everybody. They all think it's amazing. They all think it's just exactly what they want from a Sonic game. I don't think you can call that a cash grab. It's literally just doing precisely what the audience wants. And I certainly disagree with the idea that it looks bland. I mean, like, I don't know. I guess I have seen 2D games that were maybe a little more complex visually or something. I don't know. Like, I think it looks great. It's stylish. It's just really smooth and nice. I would not call it bland. It's going for an older style, sure, but like, again, that seems to be what everyone wants. Yeah, I don't know. Seems to look pretty darn neato to me. Who was asking for Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon? It's the worst of the trilogy, and so many other titles would have been better for a Switch port treatment. As for that second part, worst of the trilogy, I agree. As for the third part, so many other titles would have been better for Switch port treatment, I agree. As for the first part, who was asking for Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon? Me. I love Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon, and I have been hoping so dearly for this exact thing to happen. And I'm lucky, because you're right. Other games, just from a business standpoint, should have come first, you know? 3D Land, Link Between Worlds, like, mainly. Even, like, New Super Mario Bros. 2, just, like, games that sold a ton. And Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon did sell really well. But, like, I don't know, if you were gonna pick, you know, again, business standpoint, you'd pick the ones that sold, like, the absolute most. So I don't know why they picked Dark Moon. And it's true, it's not the best game in the trilogy, and now it's weird because, like, it would be better to have one on the Switch, but now it's like, do you port the original or do you port the 3DS one? But then that's strange that you did. It's a whole discussion. From my perspective, though, I just love the game. I'm just happy that it's coming to Switch. I don't know necessarily why it's coming to Switch, but hopefully this opens the door for more 3DS ports going forward to the future, or just Samus Returns. I'd be fine with that too. The Dragon Quest Monsters announcement was 990 times cooler and more interesting than the Pokemon DLC video. Okay, so yeah, I'll say it again. I do agree that the Pokemon DLC stuff was kind of underwhelming, and I do also think that it is very cool that we're getting a new Dragon Quest Monsters. That's so cool. But as I said in my discussion video, that trailer didn't do a lot. I would not say that was, I mean, like, it's cool that they announced it, but I feel like they had announced it before. Was it just a rumor? Or I thought they announced it. I thought we already knew it was coming. So the trailer itself, it also felt a little bland to me. Just kind of, I don't know, just not super exciting, not super visually interesting. So I can see where you're coming from, but I don't know. Both were a little to me. And that, my friends, is the salad. Thank you to everyone who submitted fixins, who submitted ingredients to this salad. As I said in the Zelda one, there will be more traditional, general spicy take salads coming up real soon. Thank you for watching. Have a good day and keep on having opinions. See you later.